What is welcome back to another one. Today we are doing the Rave Kidz aftermath. We're doing the Rave Kidz aftermath. All I'm gonna say is, no, I'm gonna say loads in the stream actually about it. But I'm absolutely mind blown. I'm absolutely still in shock. I've still got butterflies in my belly. I'm kind of gutted it's over, and I'm kind of really I'm just so excited from it. It was like everything and more. Well, it was a hell of a lot more than I expected. And wow. I like I'm truly blown away. Like this for me, and we do this quite a lot where we set like benchmarks and we set vibes. And I'll say like if I'm doing like an aftermath of a gig or something, I'll say like if I've really enjoyed it, like this is one of the favorite sets or favorite gigs that I've ever played. And this for me is by far one of, if not the my favorite gig that I've ever played. And not necessarily just not in terms of like just the best set that I've ever played, because I don't think for me it was the best set that I've ever played. Although I did play a really fun and energetic set and I enjoyed it, but the actual event itself for me is one of the best events that I've ever been booked at, out of sort of all the sort of like 3 4 years of kind of going to events and playing at events and things. About 3 years now DJing in nightclubs, and absolutely just a vibe. So I'm gonna tell you the story of Rave Kidz in Hull, and if you didn't go there for whatever reason, you might live too far away. Um, you know, all I'm gonna say is hit up Rave Kidz and get yourself to if you've got family and you want to take the kids raving, get to a Rave Kidz because they're absolutely going off and there's something about them. And the one in Hull was just absolutely and outstanding. So one thing that really blew me away about this event was how quickly the nightclub filled up. I've never seen an event fill up so quickly in all my life. It was just absolutely heaving from the second the doors opened. They all absolutely came in just like wildfire. Like, when a fire spreads really fast, that is like literally what there was like coming in, and they absolutely stomped the afternoon away. And there's a lot of them. They were better ravers than the adults, which is absolutely mind blowing. But the whole entire vibe, the whole atmosphere of the afternoon was just so much more than like it was a rave, but it was so much more than just a rave. And this is where I've got to give hats off to Benjamin because he was doing some really cool things. Like he was doing like prizes for like best dancers and best singers, and doing like little games during his set. And he was like stopping the music and then saying, right, we're gonna speed up the tempo. I want to see the best dancer, and then all the kids would have to do like the best dancer, and it was just really good. Like it wasn't just saying here kids come into a nightclub and dance away. It was like, right, come into a nightclub and dance away, but let's have fun. Let's play games. Let's win prizes. Let's interact. Let's get people going and moving and grooving, and let's make it fun. Let's make it ravey but fun at the same time, and make them like get involved and like I say, win things like prizes, and it really, really just made such a difference. Having that sort of aspect, and then they could buy glow sticks and little high vis vests, and there was little merchandise stalls, and a few kids and that they would have bought glow sticks, and I'm sure it's all good for the brand, buying the merchandise and stuff, which is amazing. Really good, really just enjoyed it. And yeah, I can't believe it's like already been and gone. It was like, because I'm not gonna lie, last week I was a bit nervous for it. I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't really know what to play. I was a little bit like, I'm looking forward to it, but I feel like doing kind of like kids raves is a little bit out of my comfort zone. And now I've done a couple of them and I've kind of vibed it. And this one was definitely a good way to vibe it, and absolutely hundreds of kids there. It was a really good way to kind of go, right, well, this is what kind of goes down well. So now I'm just going to be absolutely grinding my ass off to make more like edits and little things. I'm going to really do some really cool stuff for sets and stuff for gigs, and I really want to kind of transition and do some really cool stuff, and really play some out of the blue stuff. Not just going always necessarily with just a heavy hard donk set. Which, don't get me wrong, I love them, and I won't stop playing them as such. But there's definitely when I'm behind the decks, and the thing about the sets, like with the kind of set I played, it wasn't like doing like a 155 BPM donk set. There was a little bit of donk in there, but a lot of it was kind of more like on the sort of Scouse House sort of clubland vibe, and it was a little bit slower, but it kind of didn't feel slower because it was kind of like there was it felt energetic, and it almost didn't feel like it was slower. And I did pitch it up to 150, sort of a little bit, pitched it up a bit during the set, but it didn't feel slow, and like the set felt energetic, so it felt really good. The tracks were quite short, so you were kind of like giving people almost kind of like a taste of the best bit of the song, and then you were kind of mixing into, you were mixing the next song in, and you were keeping it energetic, and there wasn't sort of one song that was going on for like 5-6 minutes. You kind of mixed in. There was a bit of a breakdown, maybe a build up and a drop, and and a bit more of a vocal, and then you were kind of sort of bringing your next track in, and it sort of kept it energetic. So it was like well and truly a good vibe. So I'm gonna sort of explain the story of kind of what went down. So I was on at 1 o'clock, and I'd been in Skegness last night, which originally I wasn't going to go to Skegness. My original plan was, not to go to Skegness, unfortunately, because I knew I had the Rave Kidz, and I thought, like, if I go to Skegness, I don't want to be getting in at 6 o'clock in the morning, and it kind of, then having to get up for the Rave Kidz. So I kind of sort of wasn't going to go. And then the layman was only miking a set at the event. He wasn't doing the pictures. So I kind of thought, well, if you're only going to mic and you're not going to stay as long, then I'll come with you. I'll come to the event. I'll come with you for the drive. And Havoc, Havoc is Havoc. Havoc is amazing as always, and they have the 5 rooms going, and it's an amazing vibe. The hardcore room was one of my favourite rooms this year. There at Havoc, it was absolutely belting. I normally do stream about it, because Havoc is like, I've been to it for the past 3 years in a row, just attending it, really good thing. So anyway, I decided to go there because Layman was only hosting, and then There was loads of issues with the set times, and he got pushed back, and then he got pushed back again. And then the DJ that he went on with actually was clearing the dance floor and wasn't actually doing that good, and then they actually took him off, and then Kevin and Perry came on, and then before you know it, time was just getting on and on. And he hadn't really done a set properly, and was a little bit annoyed. So we decided that we was gonna get ready to hit the road. I saw loads of people there, absolutely loads of people I didn't even expect to be there. Turned up to the event, which was really good, and it was nice to see so many people just out in force having a good time, which was absolutely amazing. And then just as we was about to leave, we ended up giving somebody a lift, which kind of added a bit of time onto our journey, and I was a little bit like, oh, I've got to be up in the morning, I don't want to be now driving round by another town and dropping somebody off. And that whole point of not wanting to go to Skegness because I didn't want to get in at 6 resulted in us getting in at 6. And I just thought, well, that kind of defeated the object. So I thought, I'll set my alarm for 10:30. It gives me a good sort of 4.5 hours sleep. Because if I set it for 11, that's just going to be pushing it a little bit. Like just to get some breakfast and have a drink and get dressed and get ready and that kind of thing. But no, me being the daft me, woke up at 9 o'clock, absolutely excited but knackered for Rave Kidz. So I think I laid till about 10:30, 11, going up for 11. Sort of had a cup of tea and some toast and stuff, and had a little bit of a chill out, and then got up and just had a quick little browse through the USB, anything I think I might want to play kind of thing. Was obviously a good vibe. And just had just a quick browse really. There was a specific track that I wanted to drop, and I wanted to just sort of see how it sounded, because I've played it a few times on live streams, and but I just couldn't remember exactly how if it had sound good for the Rave Kidz. And then I thought, yeah, I can actually put it in the set, so that was obviously a really good thing. And then I set off, and it was absolutely peeing down. So I'm walking to the nightclub, and I've got a friend coming over from outside of Hull and bringing her kid, and she was meeting me outside the club, and she's on her way, lift's on her way bringing her, and I'm trying to walk there, and it's peeing down, and I'm trying to keep an eye on the phone, but I don't want to get it out in the rain, so I'm having to stand in bush shelters and doorways and kind of look at the phone and then keep walking a bit, and then go and stand in another shelter, and then keep walking again, and then stand in a bus stop, and like a bus stop shelter, and have a look at the phone again. So I think in the end I got there about 25 to 20 to 1 or something like that, which wasn't bad. I was still there in good time. Went in, saw Ben. They were getting all set up, and they were just getting things going really, and that was really good. And then sort of just before 1 o'clock, I set off on the decks, put my stick in, loaded up my intro tune to an absolutely empty club. There was not a soul in there, because the doors hadn't opened. And this is what really blew me away. So the doors opened, and with that, there was like 300 odd ravers that came into that club. It was absolutely heaving. There was people on the seating areas. There was people around the bar. There was people down on the dance floor. It just filled up. It just got rammed. It just all of a sudden filled up like the second the doors opened. They were coming in, and then they were coming in, and they didn't stop coming in for ages, and it just filled, and it filled, and it filled, and it just filled, and then before you know it, I'm like 10 minutes, 5 minutes into my set, and I'm just playing to an absolutely, packed out nightclub. and it was absolutely just crazy. It's one of the busiest first sets that I've ever played. I've done a lot of like open sets, opening up the set kind of thing. I've done a lot of that, and that is the busiest one that I've ever done. Where it's just filled up that busy. Like that set was as busy as like a peak time set. That's like how crazy it was. So yeah, we played loads of. Decided to go with loads of Clubland kind of not bounce, but like Clubland. So a little bit, like I say, a little bit slower, but didn't feel necessarily slower. Some nice sort of like hard sort of bass lines coming through, but very vocally clublandy, very uplifting. Played some Critical Mass remixes. When it comes to Clubland sets, he's especially if you want to play some remixes. Critical Mass is a good guy to play tunes. Like he's done some good. He's done some good remixes of some really good tunes that you can play in clubland sets, like Castles in the Sky, for example. That is a good tune, and Fly on the Wings of Love and stuff. They're really good songs, and he's done some nice little remixes of them that you can just drop in sets, and they sound really good. And really good. So yeah, it was a really good set. It was really energetic. The layman ended up miking me, little bit of a surprise, but yeah, he ended up miking the set, which was really good, and he absolutely smashed it. We smashed it together, and it gave us a buzz. He's still buzzed from it. I'm still buzzed from it. He can't believe how well it went. I can't believe how well it went. So we're proper, really excited, still energetic, and yeah, just absolutely loved it. Loved every single moment of it, and it was just absolutely fantastic. So played my set, and then just sort of witnessed the rest of the event really, which it was hard to move. There was that many people there, and a lot of kids, like, believe it or not, like they wanted pictures with you. They actually want to see me dancing as well, so I had to sort of get in there and bust out a few dance moves as you do, and it's all part of what you do. And when I'm on set, I dance around anyway. A lot of people seem to like a lot of people like it, but then there's a lot of people that think like I do it because I'm on something, or I've taken something, and like that is like no word of a lie. Like it's just naturally me. Like I can go on the decks at home, and I can jump around just as much as I would doing a set in a nightclub. I just absolutely love just being behind the decks and playing music and playing feel good songs. And I get really energetic when I'm mixing the next track in, and the mix goes really well, and like it's really just crisp in beat, and it sounds really good, and it's like a really crisp mix. And that gets me excited, and that makes me want to jump around because it's sounding banging in my headphones, and then I'll take the headphones off, and it's sounding banging in the club, and I can see the crowd going for it, and then I'm like, yeah, this is sick, and then I start jumping around, and then I drop the next track in, and the other track's done, and then it's a real good track, and it's a sing along, and I just absolutely love it. It's amazing. So that was kind of a bit of what the set was like, really. Playing some absolute belters. The mixing wasn't as crisp as I would have liked it to have been, because we was on a short set time, and I was trying to find like loads of bangers and cram them in. But we still did really good. There was just a couple of tracks where personally I would have brought them in at different points, but because I was just trying to quick mix, it didn't always sound that good, but I did the best I could. And everybody who I spoke to said like I smashed the set, and everybody really enjoyed the set. Layman said I smashed it. Ben said I smashed it. and that's what matters. When the promoter says you've smashed it, you've done something right. And it was a really good way to warm people up, for the rest of the afternoon. So Rave Kidz, you've outdone yourself. You have outdone yourself, and I'm so buzzed that I got that opportunity to be a part of the brand, and hopefully I will get the opportunity to be a part of the brand again. If it comes back to Hull again, like that would be really wicked. If it could come back to Hull again, I would absolutely love to come back to Hull again and do the same thing again. In sort of 3 or 4 months' time or something, it would be absolutely amazing to do, or even to play one outside of Hull. The whole Rave Kidz thing, they've got something really good going on, and Ben should give himself a pat on the back. I know, and he said himself, and a lot of people who promote say it, like promotion is stressful, and things don't always go the way you want them to go, and even sometimes you can have places that look busy, but then it's still not enough to break even, and stuff like that. And but what he does with Rave Kidz, and the fact that it is practically somewhere every weekend, and he's just, you've got to take your hats off to him. You have to take your hats off to him. You have to big him up, because he puts the graft in, and not only that, it's at all these places. So yeah, it's at all these places. But how's he getting there? Like, he's obviously got to travel. So you think of like all the times he's on the road, and then like all the setting up he has to do, and like there might be certain places where he might have to sort of drive up or down a couple of days before, for whatever reason. You can't always necessarily just set off on the morning of the day. You might have to set off the night before, and then you probably have to stay in a hotel somewhere yourself, which is again, that is obviously, again, it's all part, all part of probably like the stressful side of things, where you're thinking like, right, I'm here now, in Hull, but like next weekend, we are somewhere, down south or something like that. But I've got to go all sort of head home first, and then I might be home for like 2 or 3 days or something, and then I'm going to be back out again, on the road, and hitting up another place and staying in another hotel, and and that'll probably be, it'd be the same for like big sort of international DJs as well. People like James Hype, they're always on the road. Andy Whitby's always on the road. Ian Van Dal is always on the road or on a plane or going somewhere. So you've got to understand that these busy people, they don't, they aren't like us. And it must get stressful for them, when they haven't got time to go home and chill out and watch TV, because they're sat there, they're leaving one event, they're catching a plane, and they're going to another country to go somewhere else, and do something else, and then they're back in the UK again at the weekend, and maybe doing 2 shows in one weekend, and then they're doing a writing camp or something during the week, and no time to go home. So you've got to give your hats off to them. But that is, again, at the same time, it's the passion and the lifestyle they chose. But it's even things I do with DJing now get stressful. So imagine what it's like for them, and promoters, and so yeah, so Rave Kidz, absolutely belting. Loved every minute of it. So again, Benjamin, if you do stumble across this live, then big ups, bro, because you did a really good job, and I absolutely loved it. And I would love to come back and play another Rave Kidz. I'd absolutely love to. It would be an honour. It would be an honour. It would be a pleasure. I'd love it, and I'd love to do another set. Another opening set. I'd love it. I really enjoyed the one I did, and it was just a really good vibe. So I'm looking forward to whatever's in store for the future. And I'm looking forward to all bookings and gigs that are, next weekend we're in Sheffield, Stoke. We're doing 2 shows 1 week. I think, well, possibly maybe 3 shows one weekend. So that's going to be a shed load of fun. Sets to play, things to happen. So looking forward to it. So make sure to like, make sure to comment, share, all of that good stuff. Subscribe. Keep up to date with all the events that are coming up for me and all the projects, song remixes, edits, little things I'm going to be working on. And yeah, take it easy, people. I don't want to hear